episode 19.
Episode 19.
Episode 19 of the Straight Talking Podcast. Welcome, Scott.
Well, thank you for having me on.
No worries. Scott Harvey is an amateur MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Soon to be pro.
Soon to be pro.
From Ballymun.
Yes, indeed. From the Mun.
Ballymunners are taking over this podcast.
It's what you want. It's what you want. Fun in the Mun. Yeah.
And so we'll talk about growing up and stuff like that. That's what I always go back talking about. People get to feel and find out, and I can find out too.
Yeah.
I train with Scott Jiu-Jitsu. Well, not at the moment because of this bad cold that's going around the place.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you get a few comments over that. How dare you?
How dare you put down COVID-19?
We train Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays in Charlestown. Then we train evening times as well. And I'm really missing training with the crew.
Ah, the crew. Yeah.
Started off small, but
I remember, yeah. So the 6:30 crew. I remember when I started coaching. Yeah. So I originally, when Owen moved over to the new SBG Charlestown where it is now, I remember when he first moved over, I was like, I put my name forward. I was like, here, we should do a morning class. Like Owen wanted to do a morning class, and I was like, I'll coach it. Like, I personally am not a morning person, so I was like, I'll make myself a morning person. Like, no better way. Like, nothing will get you out of bed, and it's like work. If you have to get up, you'll get up and do it. And so I was like, I'll coach it. I'll coach 6:30 crew. And I remember when it first started for like a month or two, I was there, meow. I remember some mornings you go up and you're just no one here. Like, or they'd be booked in on the app, or they'll tell you they're going to be there, and no one there. And I was like, no, I'm going to stick this out. I'm going to stick it out. And you were one of the first ones, like Aidan, Dan Farrow was one of the first ones. Like, there was a few of the lads that were consistent. I got like a group of like 4 or 5 that was just consistent every morning. And now look, now we've got a little ritual. And
it's good because I used to batter the lads because batter them because they're white belts, and you have to batter white belts. They just need to be battered.
Is that not mandatory? Is
crushed.
That not like?
It's like, oh yeah, I nearly got that. No, you didn't. Crushed.
Like, I don't think I'd ever wrist locked someone ever until the 6:30 morning class started, and now I'm just diving on wrist locks. Anyone, if the belt is even tied slightly wrong, if I see that white belt tied wrong, wrist lock. But
you know, when you shave in the sink and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and all that scum that's left at the end of the sink when you let the water out, that's white belts.
That's them. Right down rats. There,
But the guys, in fairness to them all, now since, what are we, year and a half in,
flat
they've
out.
Got better.
Oh,
like,
now
it's a handful. Adam Muhammad is a handful. It's like, you cunt.
I was rolling, like, I remember there, it was like, it would have been nearly 2 months ago. I was rolling with Dan one of the mornings, and he's a big boy. He's a deceptively big boy. I'd say his legs weigh about 85 kilo, just his legs.
Red Megaton.
Red Megaton just coming at you. And I was rolling with him, and I was like, before I was like, he's a big lad, but you kind of just fling him around the place a bit. You're like, it's handy enough. I was rolling, and I was like, I'm just going to go for this sweep I always go for. And I think it was like a butterfly sweep. It was like a shoulder crunch butterfly sweep. And I was like, had the shoulder crunch. And I was like, oh, this fella's figured out how to base now. Oh, he doesn't just fall on his side anymore. I was like, oh, God, it's getting a bit worrying. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, I might actually just stop coaching the lads. Because now it's a problem. Like, it was fun at the start, but now it's like, now I actually have to walk a lot, and they're actually gunning for me.
And I suppose any white belts listening to this, the boys are up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then you see them up most evenings as well on top of that.
5 evenings, nearly 5 evenings a week. I found a video of me sparring Aidan. Aidan sent it to me, a video of me sparring Aidan in the gym when he first started. Him and Dan called me out. They were like, obviously just having the crack, but this is where you know, like, these lads only started, and they were like, there comes, and not everyone will have it, but these boys had like a degree of a game, and you see it with a lot, like even Adam Moe, like it's not, they're not brash, they just want a challenge. Every time they're on the mat, you'll see that they're kind of like, oh, who's the next? If someone new comes up to the gym, like a new black belt could walk in the door and they'd be straight over. They're just like, oh, like, they don't care if they get tapped. They're just like, oh yeah, let's go. And I remember like when the lads are like, oh yeah, let's have a little spar, like messing. I'm going handy enough, like just cracking them a little bit to the body and that, as you do, you know, a little slow one in there, you know, can't let them get away with it for nothing.
Flying knee to the skull.
Oh, Jesus, don't bring that up. Aiden's having PTSD now. Yeah, but we were just in the gym. It was like, I'll have a little spar with them, pop a few little shots in. And as you do, and I was looking back over the video and like looking to now, I remember saying to them when that was taken, I was like, you've only got to do one thing really to get really good. And I actually think someone made this reference to today with Jocko Willink. Like, you only have to do, like, it's really, really easy to get good at MMA and jiu-jitsu. You just have to show up. Like everyone makes it complicated and they're trying to look for a secret move. And I said it to lads, like, lads, just show up. Any session you can make. Yeah. Like, and you're going to have days where you're just going to be absolutely wrote off. And I was like, just show up and do what you can. Do what you can. Just be there.
Time on the mat.
Yeah, and it's not only for you, you'll learn, like, the amount of stuff I've learned by not rolling or not taking part in the class, by being in the gym. And it's more so now when I'm coaching, do you know what I mean? When you're coaching, you learn way more. Yeah. Just, obviously, because you see, I'm way more visual now from coaching, like, watching what people are doing. Because in a way, like, especially with the 630 crew, a lot of the lads, they probably wouldn't train with other coaches in the gym as often. So they might only get to train with me in a week. So anything that they're doing on the mat, I'm responsible for. Like, if they're doing stuff wrong, like, I should be the one that helps correct them. So I have to be switched on to actually see it. Do you know what I mean? And you see the difference that they're getting now from just showing up all the time. Yeah, it's crazy. Like
that game, and even that 630 like class. What happened to me is I was training probably twice a week over in headquarters, and Max was training there, and because the kids are growing up a little bit more and they're starting to train more, it means I don't have so much time. Yeah. So my training, as if you're an outlet, should go on the back burner. It's not about you anymore, it's about your kids kind of, but still I was missing it. And I remember begging Owen, going, "Oh, just put on an early morning class." And he was in the middle of the meal and he's like, "Nah, I'm not sure. And then he told me about it. I was like, "Sign me up, I'm doing it," because my job is beside Charlestown. So, like, I get rounds in, have a shower, and I'm Mr. fucking wannabe work. I'm down to work at 10 minutes early.
I'm the same.
Fresh. I just strangled a few cunts and I'm here to work fresh.
My job, I'm like, Jesus, that Scott fella, he's pretty early most days, isn't he? And I mean, like 25, 30 minutes early. And it's just like, because I've been up at 6 o'clock trying to strangle people. Lots. And now I'm here after a shower and I'm like, eager to work, like eager. I'm not overly eager, but I'm not going back home. And anyway, I'm out the door early, so I'm staying out. Big thing I noticed for that 630 though was that I remember when I started it was a big part of it. I think this is like a big, massive part of it was just making it the crack. Like you and like the lads were like responsible for making it. Like, it has to be the crack and it has to be a bit of an atmosphere, and you have to hold other people accountable for your training. Do you know what I mean? That sounds crazy, like, but I hold other people on the mat accountable for my training, because I can show up, but if they don't show up, then my training's immediately affected. Do you know what I mean? So, like, with the 630s especially, but with even any class like that's why if it's the crack and then people feel like they're accountable for someone's training, they'll show up. Like, there was mornings I know for a fact that lads showed up because other lad, they didn't want to let another lad down.
I've done that loads.
Do you know, like, loads. loads. Like they'll agree with them the night before. Oh yeah, here, I'll see you there. Oh, will you be up in the morning so I can partner with you? And it accounts, especially now with this whole COVID crap going on. When the gyms open back up, it's going to be back to those pods. It's going to be back to like one-on-one training. You've got to be accountable for the person who shows up. So I think that's the big thing. When the class was made be a bit of crack, and like, it should always be crack. Do you know what I mean? That's all giving each other stick. Like the amount of stick we issue out on the daily isn't normal. Like, it's not normal. Like, if someone makes like watching lads roll around and just laughing at them is funny. It's funny. Do you know what I mean? Like,
some of the things you put up on Instagram, poor old Dan getting absolutely raced,
and he was just recording his face while he was getting strangled. Like, but
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and they have to be accountable for that. Like, because like, you need to show up to strangle Dan, but Dan needs to show up so you can get better at strangling him. Do you know what I mean? Or like, that could be anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, or that could be sparring. So, especially now with this whole COVID crap, it's a must. Like, it's a must that you have like your teammate there. Do you know what I mean? To hold accountable. But
that's a huge aspect for any form of training. Like my ideals and me looking into it is that community aspect. Like I didn't look at it years ago when I was younger and I was training. It's probably the mentality I had then, or the philosophy that was there, was all very me, I.
Yeah.
But then when you get a bit older and a bit smarter and you learn a bit more, now that's actually probably not the best way to think of it.
Yeah.
It's about everyone else.
Yeah.
And you playing a role in that. Rather than just me, oi. You know what I mean?
And you really are you're only as good as the weakest person in the room. Do you know what I mean? If the weakest person in the room is struggling and they're not getting better, then that shows that there's something wrong as a whole. Do you know what I mean? Or if they don't want to come back. Do you know what I mean? If someone's in the gym and they train for a while, say it's a month or two, and they're starting to kind of find their feet, and then they feel like they don't want to come back. Do you know what I mean? Then like there's something funky going on there. But it could also be a case of that the people that they need to train with just aren't showing up. Do you know what I mean? And then they feel left out.
And even I take the piss out of white belts and take the piss out of the lads.
Keep taking the piss out of it. Keep doing it.
Because they need egos crushed. But when I see a new person arriving up, for me, the new person is the most important person in the room, because it's like, how did you find that? Come back next Friday, come back next Thursday, because I remember I walked into a jiu-jitsu room, and after a while you're able to take a bit of abuse because you're getting strangled. It kind of sorts out the wheat from the chaff. But at the start, and I remember people saying to me, how did you think of that? Because it's, when you walk into a jiu-jitsu room at the very start, I didn't know anyone that done jiu-jitsu. Like, and you're kind of going, what is this all about? So you're feeling insecure and weird anyway, so it's like, important that somebody says, how did you think?
People, like, it's intimidating, like, especially with a sport, like, it's kind of like with MMA and a sport, like, it's not as well known. Like, if you join a football club, you've more than likely watched lots of football before. Do you know what I mean? If you've joined a GA team, you've more than likely watched a lot of GA. Do you know what I mean? You know, you have an idea what's going on. But with jiu-jitsu and MMA, like, a lot of people watch MMA, but even MMA is like, if you just joined the jiu-jitsu gym, you chances are you probably haven't watched it before. Do you know what I mean? You've watched MMA and you assume that it's all connected, like, and that it's all the same, and you probably don't know, like, you obviously won't know the rules. I don't even know the rules. Like, jiu-jitsu rules, just, it's too many to even think of. But, like, especially if lads join a gym, they're going to be, like, intimidated, and then they're going to be like, I don't even know what these lads are doing here. What's even going on? So you have to look out for obviously the lads starting out. But it's tough sport to get going in. But once you get going, you're laughing.
And in fairness, the lads are sticking at it, and it's great to see. And hopefully we're back all together before Christmas.
This is a load of rubbish, this COVID thing. I'm not like, and before everyone comes on and butchers me and says, like, I'm not like some anti-vaxxer or any of that. I just think the gym's taking an absolute hit is criminal.
Live and let live. Wear your mask. Take your vaccine. Do whatever you need to do. But I want to train.
I want to train. And it's tough. Like, and it's tough for. It's easy for me. Let's put it that way. It's easy for me, and that's coming from someone who literally lives in a gym. Like, I honestly don't think anyone could spend more time in a gym than me. That's just, and I'm not saying that being cocky or being. That's just the truth. I'm there 6:30 in the morning. I'll go to work 9 to 5, and then I'm in there from 5 till 10, and that's nearly every single day. And anyone who knows me can vouch for that. Do you know what I mean? And, like, it's easy for me. Do you know what I mean? I spend, like, my life is in the gym, and if I have to be away from it, so be it. I have loads of other stuff to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have work to focus on. I have, like, I'm trying to do stuff in the house, trying to decorate. I can stay distracted. I can exercise at home. I'm well enough trained. I know drills that I can do at home, classes I can do for myself at home. But there's a lot of people out there that don't. Do you know what I mean? And they don't have a gym at home, and they don't have space to have a gym at home, and they probably don't. Even if they bought a kettlebell, they probably wouldn't even they wouldn't know how to do it. They'd just be swinging the thing around the gaff, not having a clue. Do you know what I mean? So for them who need the gym, it's rough. It's rough. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying there, I broke a golden rule, and like a golden rule, and anybody, this is a golden rule. I broke it, and it's like the Homer Simpson. Don't press that red button. Why not? It's like, don't go into the comments. don't argue with people. And I went in the other day. And it's these two geezers that I know, like, and one of them, and I would have struggled with mental health a bit, but they were on giving it that, they should be locked down and this and that, and they should be locked down. And it's like, mate, like, people that are sick or people that are old that this affects, they're not going to gyms.
They're not going to gyms.
They're not going to go to
gyms.
gyms.
I'm sorry.
And if you're living with them, don't go to a gym.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick and don't go to a gym. Whereas the 70%ers, they want to go to the gym. Yeah, they want to train. They want to feel good. And you know what to do. I know what to do. I have Max here in the house to train with. And not everyone has that.
Nobody, like a lot. And I take it for granted. Like, and I think like we all take it for granted. Like, I take for granted how much I know. I don't know a lot. Like, I'm not some absolute super PT or anything like that. But I know how to put a class on for myself. I know how to exercise myself. Like recently I've started doing loads of mobility stuff, like loads of it, and loads of strength and stuff again. And I really, really, really enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And I can do that for myself at home. Like, obviously I'm being assisted in how I do it. Do you know what I mean? Through messages and like I have coaching for that. But at the same time, I'm still, like, I can still do that. A lot of people can't. They wouldn't know where to start. Do you know what I mean? So for them, they're the ones taking the real hit. And if it's the gym's the only place that you go, like, I know a lot of lads that just go to work and then go straight in the piss after work. Do you know what I mean? And that's to them, that's just the life, or that could be the norm for them. Or go home and drink cans. If they recently joined the gym and they were trying to change something and now that's been pulled away, they're back on that road. I'm sorry, they're not gonna. You know what I mean?
I seen somebody there a while ago put up. She's this fucking blogger. Kind of, she runs this blogging thing, and I was talking to someone else, but she put up this thing. I hope gyms don't start playing the mental health card. This is what this person said. But mental health card, everything is mental health. Like, mental health is as important as this bad cold that's going around. Like, you know what to do, I know what to do. Like, Yvonne owned the gym here in the town, and she had like maybe 150 members. The amount of, we used to have to fill in forms for them, and the amount of girls that had issues with mental health, that hour was them getting away from their kids, or they just needed an hour to themselves.
100%.
Whereas for people now, that's gone.
It's gone.
And you and I know what to do. But certain people that are probably fucking, like, me and you, men are different. We can just go, and whereas a woman has a couple of kids hanging over. And, like, and people may listen to this go, oh, you sexist prick. Now, when my two kids are sick in this house, they don't want me. They want their ma.
When I'm sick,
no matter what
ma.
age they are, no matter what teenagers, the whole lot, they're
when
crawling
I'm sick,
all over their ma.
Sneezing
all over their ma. Boys want their ma. So, like, if you have sick kids or whatever, and we're in winter time at the moment, like, you're not getting that hour because lockdown. But planes are coming in from Dubai, from America, from the Emirates. They're landing in Dublin, but I can't go to Drumcondra. You know,
it's the whole system is just, and it always leaves, even with all these new restrictions and lockdown stuff that they're bringing in. It always just leaves doors. Like, they never answer all the questions. And everyone's always going to be saying, so I can't have my friends over, but if I call my best mate who's an electrician to have a flick of the light upstairs, we can sit and have a cup of tea. And do you know what I mean? Like, and it leaves all these questions answered. And the gyms just kind of just get brushed in on that same stroke. Do you know what I mean? It's no gyms at all, and they're just wiped out. But they're needed. They're needed for obvious reasons. Do you know what I mean? It's not like as your woman said, they hope they don't play a mental health card. Like,
everything's mental health.
Like, and
because humans, we're all fucked.
And the funny thing is, if this so-called person, like, I don't know who it is, but if this so-called person, as you said, is a blogger and works on Instagram or does anything through that, I guarantee you at one point her mental health will be affected greatly using social media.
But
social media.
She used that quoting that she suffered with mental health before. That is the thing. And
yeah,
it's
like do you see what I mean? Like,
it's like gamekeeper turned poacher.
I remember someone said, I think it was Danny, I can't remember, someone said to me about nerves before fights and things like that you get, and you get tense, and it's the degree of tension that you have. And it's anxiety. You do have anxiety before you're going out to fight, like, and rightfully so. Do you know what I mean? It's a natural reaction, but something that, like, it's tension, and motion relieves tension. That's the truth of it. Like, if that's why you pace up and down before you go out and fight, or you're constantly on edge, but you want to move, because the motion will relieve the tension. And if someone's in work all day and they've been tense and they're built up and they're like, just want to flip the desk and get out of there, and then they can go to the gym afterwards and go through that motion, get a sweat on, go for a run, swing a kettlebell, do you know what I mean? Hit a bag. When they go home, they aren't tense, do you know what I mean? But if all those people now are now just forced to go, say, to work, and then they're forced to go straight home, and then they're doing the same thing, just looking around the gaff board, it's not good, do you know what I mean? And it's easily avoided, do you know what I mean? That's the problem.
Say for instance, say our 6:30 in the morning class, right, and we're teaching something, and I'm rolling with someone, and say Dan or whoever, and I help them out with something. Yeah. And they're like, oh Jesus, thanks a million for that. I never noticed that. That's a game changer. Oh Jesus, or I'm strangling them this way, and I show them. They're like, oh Jesus. And then, so what happens there is, by me helping them and doing something for them and showing them something, what happens is serotonin fires in my system. Yeah. So naturally, I'm firing a hormone because I'm after helping them. Yeah. Yeah. Right? And vice versa. By them rolling me and by us killing each other and training, and then at the end of it, there's another hormone for it called dopamine, which is the happy hormone. Yeah, yeah. And so you're excited. Now that we don't have that, we have to find other ways, because you know what to do. Yeah, I know what to do. Not many people know what to do. So them hormones are being suppressed. So them hormones being suppressed, is that any more important with a virus that kills 0.0003% of the population that are gonna die anyway?
It's crazy. Like, I remember during the first lockdown, like when we got hit with the first one, and obviously that one was more so a shock, because like I remember being in work and then it was like, oh, schools and all are closed, and then before you know, and then before you know, it was a week, and I was like, there's tents on the streets, people are like, I honestly was like, this is like,
get down to fucking Aldi, I was going buy the cafe.
No, I had me posters ready for like self-defense PTs from the zombie apocalypse and all. I had them laid out, like how to fend off a few COVID victims, you know, like taking them out everywhere. But I remember like when that kicked off, and I was like, after like I think it was like a week, it was longer, it's probably about 3 weeks of the lockdown being in effect, I was like, I need to, like, as much as I was training, I was like, I need to start doing like something to push myself, but like more than just like a little train, do you know what I mean? Because something that that you don't notice, especially with MMA, and I do this a lot with my PTs and stuff, especially with people who are trying to lose weight, is that I kind of pull the focus off losing weight, because that shouldn't be, you shouldn't be going to a training session thinking to yourself, all right, how much can I get sweat on today and lose weight? For me, it was like, all right, I need to start showing people like super good techniques and like stuff that they can use, and then it'll take their mind from weight loss or doing press ups until their arms burn out. Do you know what I mean? So I needed some of that myself, and I always got that when I was training. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd have rounds with Max, and Max would just absolutely just ride me. Do you know what I mean? And that's the truth. Like, he fucking
welcome to the club.
He just rinses me. But the thing is,
fucker.
But the thing is, I get that, and then after the round, I've been absolutely smoked, and after the round, I'm like, that was savage. I need to get that much better. So now I'm like, all right. So when the lockdown forced it, there was no way for me to, I found it hard to get that, do you know what I mean? I could do all the workouts and my own. So I started just looking for mad stuff to do. I remember like, there was like me and one of the lads, Shane, had done that like 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Deadly. We done like, I think it was like tour dame runs. We done it for like 24 hours, done like tour dame runs, which is tough. Like, I don't like running, you know what I mean? Which was tough. And then
When you don't run,
yeah,
that's...
like, and I could find the will to get up and push myself there, but a lot of people won't. And without the gym there, without someone to give you a proper good boot up the hole, you won't get that either. Do you know what I mean? You won't get that growth factor. You won't want to push yourself beyond out your comfort zone. Yeah. So they need to just do away with the lockdowns. Yeah. Open up the gyms.
How dare you?
Yeah. Open up the gyms. Let us train.
But just, you see that what you're talking about, like that, like pushing yourself that extra little bit. Maybe 3% of the whole population do that.
Yeah.
And it's not doing mad gear, but it's really like jumping in a jiu-jitsu class.
I think that it's a lot of times it's done unintentionally. So I have the will to intentionally do that to myself. I can actively wake up one morning. I remember Leah, this was during the lockdown, Leah McCourt signed up to do a charity Bulgarian bag swing. And she texted me and was like, here, I'm going to do this Bulgarian bag swing. And it was 10,000 reps with this Bulgarian bag in a week. And I'd never, ever swung a Bulgarian bag in my life. And I went straight out. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do it with you. And I could intentionally know that's difficult and it's going to absolutely kill me. But I had the will to be like, all right, I'm going to do it. Sign me up. Let's do it. And we done it. And it was absolutely horrendous. Like the worst thing ever. But we finished it. And I remember not a lot of people can do that. But you can unintentionally do that by showing up to training. Like when you show up to the gym and you go into a round, I don't know, say for instance, I don't know how that round's going to go. Like with Max, like I'd have an idea, all right, this is going to be a tough round, do you know what I mean? And you can have an idea of a tough round, but you could just get rinsed one night, unintentionally. You might thought, I'm going to come up here and just have a handy and just get rinsed. But now you've got that 3%, you know, you've got that growth factor there and that push without ever meaning to, do you know what I mean? And that makes a big difference, I think, for people, is that if that's not there.
And it's sometimes you can gauge yourself off people. Like there's sometimes I'll go up and it's like I go with Danny and I'm kind of walking around happy with it. And I'm going, yeah, that was, you know. And then on the Thursday night I go with him and I'm just like, it's like the first night of jiu-jitsu. What am I doing? I'm just, he's folding me in two. But turning me inside out. But and it's like, I need that.
That's that unintentional growth because you never intended to get stomped like that. You had an idea, but you never intended it. You never wanted it. And you actually thought in your head before the round started, you probably thought, this is going to go similar to last time. I'm going to just play a bit of guard, show off my rad Della Worm guard, do some of this, and then it absolutely gets smashed before your eyes and you're just like, okay, now I'm getting absolutely rinsed. Do you know what I mean? So
you see that mentality when Liam McCord asked you to do that Bulgarian bag, and I spoke about this on the podcast we done with Jason Bourne, and I spoke about it with Melissa as well, I think. So a good few years ago, I done this thing called the Hero's Journey. Now, I highly recommend read Joseph Campbell, read The Hero's Journey, A Hero with 1,000 Faces, read his stuff. But after I done this Hero's Journey, now I say no to nothing. Nothing. Everything I do in my life, I needed to challenge me. Everything. Everything. I don't see comfort. And I'm not out like running ultra marathons or stuff like that. But when people say, Jay Bourne says there a couple of years ago, will you come to the Arctic Circle with me? And we're going to do about 1,500 kilometres on snowmobiles. I was like, all right. As much as, but that's, I think it's like we're going next Wednesday. All right,
okay, sign me up.
So part of the hero's journey is most people get, if you look at any films like The Matrix, Neo, and they get to that, you can take the red pill or the blue pill. The red pill is go down the rabbit hole and follow the white rabbit, or the blue pill is just stay in your comfortable life, working with cunts you hate, surrounded by cunts you hate, and nothing outside of that. That is basically what they are. You see this stuff over here, Bulgarian bag, sign me up. Sign me up. Because in that comfort, there's no growth. There's just like stagnation. And human beings, some of the stuff that we've achieved, like Irish people or people that live on this land, were the spawn of Vikings. Warriors. Like warriors. shared a thing on my Instagram there the other night. Like, they excavated graves around Dublin Castle where the first Viking settlement was. And when they looked at the skeletons, they'd lumps out of them from axes and swords. Some dude was minus an arm from a battle. Like his arm was buried beside him, but it was like hacked off with an axe. So we need to, you can't go around doing that now, but they embraced.
Yeah, like they embraced savagery. Yeah, savagery.
That's who our spawns are. So wear a mask if you want, but embrace the savagery.
Yeah, you should. I think you should always try say yes to nearly everything. Do you know what I mean? To as much as you can take on. Now, I'm not saying you need to say yes to doing 10 things in a week.
No.
Then only take on one.
What pushes you? Know what I mean? Like whether it's going to a bleeding spin class.
Yeah.
Once it's pushing you out of your comfort zone, you don't have to start like, oh, jeez, I've seen David Goggins. Do you ever run? I'm going to run a marathon tomorrow. Did you ever run before? No, never.
No, yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, like
sign up for a 5k park run or something.
Yeah, and I think that if like that's why with competition and stuff like that, like your growth is only ever your real substantial growth will only ever be at the cap of where your limit is. Do you know what I mean? Like so, if you can run 5k and you want to improve your 5, you want to run 6k, you've got to run 5. You have to do it, and you have to get to that point where you're absolutely dying. You think you're going to have a banger and then go a little bit past it. And you're always trying to push that little boundary a little bit more, push it so you'll get growth into that next area. Do you know what I mean? And for anyone, it literally could be a case of, I want to go and do my first jiu-jitsu class. Okay, well your first thing is to ring up the gym or drop them a message.
SBG Charlestown
6:30. They're always fun.
Scott Harvey already.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And your first push might just be texting the gym. You might have never even followed a gym on Instagram. That might not even be a thing. But that would be your first step. And then your next step would be showing up. And all you're doing is just pushing your limit of that comfort zone a little bit more until you're looking back on it and you're like, well, it's been a year since I'm training now. And look, do you know what I mean? Whereas you didn't even want to start. So like that's the same for anything. It's hitting that limit and then just trying to push a little bit past it.
No, 100%. I'd wholeheartedly agree with that. You know?
Yeah. You can't sit on the fence. If you sit on the fence for too long, or if you're like that, I sometimes, for me, a big thing with me is I like to not give myself enough time to think. This is actually a really common one that I try to shout at people when I'm coaching them. But people say, oh, you've good cardio, like you must be really fit. A lot of times cardio for me is just not thinking about getting tired. Like I think maybe it's just me, maybe I take it for granted, but people think too much about getting tired that they get tired. If like we're in a role and I'm like trying to reserve energy because I'm worried I'm getting tired, it's too late. It's too late. You're gone. If you're worrying about cardio, your job should just be trying to get from A to B. If someone's on your back, you're just constantly trying to fight something. And yeah, you are tired, but if you stop to actually think about, oh, I'm really tired here, it's gone. It's game over. Do you know what I mean? And I think that, for me, that's what I'm quite good at. I'm quite good at telling myself, or I try to shout at people, is like, try not to think about it too much. Just try do it. So if someone asks me, Scott, do you want to go and swing a Bulgarian bag 10,000 times and nearly destroy your shoulders? I'm like, sign me up. Yes, because if I sit on the fence and I think about it for 2 days, I guarantee I'll find an excuse not to do it. I'll find one. I'll find it. If you give me an hour, if you give me 10 minutes, I'll find an excuse not to do it. So if I just say yeah, I'm in it then. I'm signed up. So, you know what I mean?
I heard there's another guy, I read a bit of stuff from him as well, Carl Jung. And Carl Jung has tons of good stuff, but Carl Jung says your ego is the gatekeeper to your conscious mind. When you think about that, your conscious mind is, oh no, I can't do that. Okay, your ego's patting you on the back. You can't. You can't. It's like my ego, I need to say to it every now and again, go fuck yourself, because I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like everything you do, your ego's gone in your ear. No, you can't really do that. There's Danny over there. This is the 5th round. And Danny's looking in your direction, and Danny wants to fucking rape you within an inch of your life. I might sit this one out because I'm 45 and I haven't really done much.
I'd say you've probably seen it. Like, so Roddy on Thursday nights in the gym zone, Roddy just puts on sparring classes that are hell. Like the hell. Like, I don't know, a lot of people, like if you're coming up sparring, saying SBG Charlestown, and you're moving around with like the likes of Sean and all these boys striking, you're in for a long night. Like Courta absolutely chopping the legs off.
Willy Wonka's little chain collector.
Yeah, like you're in for such a long night of just having strainers. Yeah. But and then at the end he does this, he likes to just do cardio, like blowouts at the end, and the cardio's grim. It's grim. And like last time I remember when the gym was open and we were actually being able to train, we had one of them sessions on. It was on the Thursday night, and I remember before, so we kind of split up the cardio, and I remember for the last round of it, I just turned to Max because he's young and fit and has lungs, and I just turned to him and I was like, right, race it, let's go, two of us. I don't want to be having a fucking burpee competition with Max. Do you know what I mean? But I do at the same time. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, 100%.
I don't want to do that. Like that's a bad idea. In like my ego would tell me, don't do that. You can just coast this last round. But I'm not going to get any better.
He's after doing 10. I'll do 8.
Yeah,
you'll be grand.
I'll coast
and pretend you've done 10.
Whereas I'm just like, I literally was just like, oi, and he turned around and I was like, me and you, let's go, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. And then once I've signed up, once I've agreed to it, I'm in there. Whether I get smoked or not, this is a big thing I noticed with like,
doesn't matter.
I'm trying to change it myself because I think I was a bit like that, and I've kind of had I'm getting a better outlook on it. Is that I was always kind of like, I like competing, but I was always just kind of, do you know what I mean? I just like to sit on the back foot nearly. But I think I just cared too much. Do you know what I mean? For me, I think that was it. It's just I just cared too much, and now I'm kind of in that state where I don't care. Like if I go into a fight or go into a jiu-jitsu competition and I get ragdolled, so what? Like I'm sorry, obviously I don't want to get hurt, but I'm going home. Like if I don't get hurt, I'm going home that night and nothing changes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing changes. I've only gotten better. And I think that's a big thing, is that sometimes people are like trying to protect that ego or trying to keep that ego nice and safe in its box. And if you just don't care and you just let it, just do it. Do you know what I mean? You'll get so much more. Do you know what I mean? You'll get so much more out of every experience.
No, it's like you can, like your close family and your friends, they're the ones that matter. And they're the ones that will, when you lose, will rib you over it. But they know, you know, and it's comfortable. Whereas, like, for instance, in my house growing up, there was myself and my brother, and we used to knock the bollocks out of each other, and then we both cycled together, and our careers, my brother was a little bit older, but I was kind of coming after him. But, like, and my outflow was a fucking savage. And my outflow, like, if we finish second or third, now there's fucking 150, 200 people in bike races. Me dad's philosophy, and he was just savage. He was old school.
Ruthless.
Like,
that's what you need though.
Second is first loser. Fair play to you.
And
I say that to Max, you know what I mean? I say that to Max as well. But it's from a place of, did you leave everything out there? Yeah. Did you leave every single thing that I couldn't have done anything else? Yeah. There you go.
Then it's fine. Yeah.
But if you're walking away going, you know what, I was playing a cagey.
You could easily come away, and that's the perfect mentality there, is that you could easily come away from something like that where you're second place and you get a bit of grief over it, and you come away and be like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. Because sure, look, if I don't finish second anymore, if I don't even do the race, sure, you can't read me over, you can't give me a load of grief, and you could just call it there. Whereas, no, you should be like, I'm going into that next one and I'm smoking that fella in first, whether he likes it or not.
But you need people around you with that mentality. Max done a wrestling competition in Scotland there last year, okay, and he came up against this Bulgarian wrestler. And your man, same age. Max was ragdolling your man, like ragdolling him and battering him. And Sergey's like, just run it out, just run it out. And Max, of course, goes for something, and your man fucking pins him. Your man pins him. Max is up, like, I think it was a close fight, but Max was up, like, close match. Sorry, it wasn't fight wrestling. Max was up, like, 8-5, and your man pins him. And Sergey went fucking crazy. He was pissed off, as he should. He was putting time into them. But this is my favourite, and this is why you need coaches like this. So Sergey brought a team over, a mixed Irish team. And so Max is fucking fuming coming home with a silver medal. And Max is at the airport. Sergey normally drops him home. Yeah. And Sergey dropped into the bus stop and he says, only gold medal winners get lifts home.
Oh, yeah. Just on your
proper
way.
Old school.
Yeah.
Proper. And I was like, delighted. Because most people, parents would be like, oh my God, you need that.
Yeah.
I was never... Think about that.
Yeah.
All the way home.
I was never like, it's weird, like, because I was never... Like, I never really had that. Like, I never really had... Now, I think maybe it's just in me. I just like to just do stupid stuff to myself, and I like pushing myself crazy places. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy it, and I can do it to myself on my own. But a lot of people can't. But I remember, like, when I... Like, probably my first-hand experience of seeing someone be that ruthless was when Jack McGann came over from Liverpool with his dad, and he was training. His dad was training with, he was doing a few PTs with Owen, and just doing bits and bobs, and Anto could do a bit. And Jack fought professional MMA at the time, and he was fighting like savage Russians, like fighting in like fight nights, like in Russia and Dagestan and stuff. Yeah, like crazy stuff. But I remember like first hand seeing it, because his dad would be very old school as well, similar to Sergey. Like if you mess up, you're gonna fucking know about it. Do you know what I mean? Or if you're pulling your, like, if you're not pulling your weight. And I remember, like, I used to fly over to England and do rounds with Jack. I was like, essentially, like, I was just like a body that could, I was there all the time. We could just do sessions on sessions, and he used to show me loads of stuff. And I remember, like, rounds, like, his dad would drop us to the gym, and he'd watch the first round of Jack's sparring, say, and he'd just, like, and he'd see that he's not switched on, and he'd just pull him straight over and be like, are you just being shit today? Because if you're shit, we'll just fuck off home, and you can stop wasting everyone's time here. Or you can get your act on and do what you're here to do. And you could see the level of rudeness, but it was right. Do you know what I mean? It was the right thing to do, because if you don't have that there, some people will coast. Yeah. And even days I coast. And sometimes I need to be told, get your finger out. Do you know what I mean? So if you have someone there who's just, who can be openly ruthless with you and just tell you what you need to hear, it fucking works. Do you know what I mean? It really does. Like, I like to try to do that to people. I like to try to be that person who's just like, get your finger out. You're being lazy. Do you know what I mean? And tell them out straight, you're being lazy. You're not showing up to the gym. You're not doing your work. And some people say it's not my place there. And some people, maybe they don't like to hear it and probably hurts their feelings. That's not my problem. Like, it kind of is my problem, because I'm telling them, but at the same time, it's what I'd like to hear. And I think if you want to take yourself serious, I'm not going to tell an average Joe who's working a 9 to 5, who drops in 2 days a week, you need to get your act together. But if there's someone who's calling themselves a fighter, or someone who's training consistently and they're slacking, or they say to me they want to train for a competition, because I have a lot of lads who are like, I want to train for this, like, Gamma coming up and stuff like that. I should be responsible then to be like, get your finger out. You're not doing enough. You want to win this? Do you want to go in there and just rock in last? That's fine. Don't show up. But if you want to go in and win, get your finger out. Show up to the gym. Get stuck in. Do you know what I mean?
And I will be that. Like, I'm now, past it. Really enjoying jiu-jitsu. Really enjoying, like, past sell-by date gone. But I'm having a great time. But when I was 20 or early 30s, there was a different story. And I'm not, like, I'm just having fun. But when I see 20 or my teenager, you want to get into a cage. People want to punch you in the head. So you're going to be fucking prepared. And the nights you're going to not want to go training, I'm in your fucking face telling you to go training, because these people want to inflict damage on you, and you have to inflict damage on them.
It's not like, it sounds bad, but it's not like cycling in a way. No. Like, 'cause cycling's tough in a different aspect.
Psychological. This is punching you in the face.
This is like, someone's gonna actually try smash your face in. Like, if you
bottom line,
if you're half arsing it, it's more or less it.
People want to inflict damage, and it's not. And that's the nature of the sport. Is it's judged on damage. So you need to be prepared. And like, for me, looking on at jiu-jitsu or MMA or whatever, if you're going up doing an hour and a half a day, you're like me. Sell by day, past it, hobbyist. I am a hobbyist. I am a hobbyist. That's what I am. I go up, I do an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours every day. I'm loving being a hobbyist. But you are like me. That's what you are. You're not. But if you want to be a fighter or a serious grappler, you need to do a lot more than what I'm doing.
Like, Owen never would want to see any of us going into a cage and getting hurt. He'd never want to see it. He'd never want to watch me getting knocked out. He'd never want to watch any of us getting knocked out. I never want anyone I'm coaching to get knocked out. I don't want to ever watch any of my teammates getting knocked out. You don't want to see it happen. So the way we can try prevent that happening is by showing up as much as possible and training to ensure we're the optimum, like we are perfectly prepared to avoid that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what your goal is. So if people are slacking, they immediately increase the chance of them getting seriously hurt. Yeah. That's just the truth. Like if I don't have the cardio, the chances of me getting hurt in a fight are substantially higher than if I because cardio is just a small like that's just one thing that everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to go into specific techniques for specific fights or for any of that, but just cardio. If I'm slacking and I'm not doing the stuff that I should be doing to make sure I'm fit enough, I could have the perfect game plan and I cannot implement it because I just do not have the cardio. Yeah. First round, start breathing heavy. Second round, I'm breathing out my arse. And every game plan that I have is now gone straight out the window because my sole thing is just trying to breathe and trying to survive.
Yeah.
So obviously the chances of me getting seriously hurt are through the roof now. Yeah, so like that's where I think you need someone who can just proper shout at you and be like, you need to do this or you're going to get hurt. You don't want to say that to them, but that is the truth. That's the inevitable truth. Like, is that it's not, I'm not going to get hurt. If I'm coaching someone and they're in the ring, I'm not getting hurt in the corner. If I don't show up to training, that's fine. But then it stems back to what I was saying earlier, is that I need to be there to make sure that they can get to the best shape they can be in to go in there and fight. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a big circle. It goes full circle. And if you don't want to watch your teammates getting absolutely chinned, or you want to try prevent people from getting seriously hurt,
give them a bit of grief. And
give them a bit of grief. Give them a bit of grief. Make them feel like they need to show up. Make them feel like that they need to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what we were saying. We were saying it on the way up here. Is that like even with the likes of me, say if I ever decide to open up my own gym or do anything, go down that route, I'd always want a small gym with a small group of people. I don't want a big gym. I don't want a colossal gym with 200 members and stuff there. I'd rather have a small gym with like 40 consistent members, like people who are consistent, and they could be hobbyists. They could be elite people who want to fight. But I'd ensure that they're consistent. That's it. Or if they can't make it, just let me know. Just let me know. Oh, can't make it. Lovely. That's no problem. But be consistent. Do you know what I mean? If you want to do it, be consistent, and then everyone improves.
Henzo Gracie's $250 a month. There you go.
$250 a month.
That's what it is.
It's heavy tech, that.
High level.
High level, though. High level. No room for messing around in there.
So your fight career at the moment is kind of on hold.
Yeah, on hold. I was scheduled to fight. I think I was. I don't know. I was talking to Owen about it. We were looking for. It would have actually been. Is today the 24th?
25th today.
25th. It would have been yesterday. I should have fought. I was looking to try fight at featherweight. Probably would have been my last amateur fight. We're looking for pro. We're looking everywhere. It's. We're only saying to Owen there. It's so much more difficult now to get fights. Than when I started. Like I started years ago. I started bleeding 8 years ago or something. Do you know what I mean? It was easy to get fights because there wasn't as big. But now everyone's doing it, and it's difficult to get fights. But it's difficult.
Checking you out on Instagram.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even like from that side of it. It's just you've got a limited number of cards, and then you've got so many fighters. So you're gonna run out of spots. So we're looking for pro. Fingers crossed we can get one soon. I'd like to, ideally. I honestly don't think anything will happen before the end of the year. That's the truth. I don't think it is. So I'm still training. I actually started strength. Started recently, like I was saying, strength and mobility stuff with Bon Shiki, who is freak of nature. If anyone doesn't follow that fella stuff, he is a freak of nature. Do you know what I mean? He knows movement and he knows strength. And I've been working with him because I was like, I'm just going to use this downtime just to improve, but improve in areas that I do. I just fob off. Do you know what I mean? That's the truth. I do fob off. Like if I go up to the gym and someone says to me, Scott, do you want to go in and do a bit of strength here, or we can go in here and do like 40 minutes raw? I'm like, I'm rolling. See you later. Like I'm not. Fun. It's fun. Do you know what I mean? But now I'm going to use this time to try build up that as well as. Do you know what I mean? Use that time because you can do a lot of this at home. Do you know what I mean? A lot of this mobility stuff you can just do at home. Give me.
Yvonne's mate, I was showing her check out Scott's Instagram, the salutations. Yvonne's mate, Angie, she's I think Angie's nearly 50. You want to see the nick this girl is in? Yoga for years. Yoga. And she is telling Max, she's always giving Max grief about not doing the salutations.
Yeah.
And then you're doing the salutations in the moment. And Sergey's like, Max, you need to be doing the salutations every morning. It's 10 of them. Yeah,
so Bon has like, he has like a morning routine that you get done. And like, there's lots of like, say you do your box breathing and other, there's different aspects to it, things like cold showers, like adding in areas of cold showers, but one of them is the sun salutations, and it's like 10 sun salutations. At the start I didn't know one or these things were. I was like, I'm gonna just be like this. Full on thought I was like a full yogi for a minute. But I'm telling you, after like you knock out 10 of these puppies in the morning, and you're just, right, I can move now, I can move a little bit, and it might not be much, but if it's just those 10, I can move. I can walk down the stairs, skip down the stairs in the morning, rather than, for anyone who's training a long time or fighting a long time or doing anything like that, they know for a fact your body starts to feel broke up, your lower back just being a jocker. So doing things like this, just now that I'm adding them in, is different gravy. Like, and I think like Sergey saying there to Max, like, get on it early. The first person I seen doing anything kind of like this was Carl McCormick. Right. Years back when I first started training. So Carl used to obviously train in the gym. He's an older lad as well, and he used to be in the gym, and he used to do yoga in the gym for lads who were training there. But before every class and stuff like that, you used to always see it. And now I came from kind of weightlifting. I used to just bang weights around in the gym. Wow. And I was actually like, I was shown correctly how to lift weights, so I wasn't like completely muscle bound just coming up to the gym in a mess. But when I seen him up there, you'd see him at the start of class and he'd be like doing these little flows, like, and just moving around and warming up his shoulders, and like even sitting in a squat, you'd see him sitting like, wow, his posture's like spot on. I'm like, how does his posture look like that? And he was the first person that I seen kind of doing it. Like, from me, from the outside coming in, I'd never really seen anyone doing yoga or doing even movement stuff. Yeah. And now he used to always swear by it. And I think I was probably ego. I was probably just like, nah, I'll just
fucking yoga, weirdo.
Power doubles, just blast double legs through everything I seen. And then, but now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm like, this fella was onto something. This boy, I wasn't messing. So if anyone younger is listening, I'd say get on it early. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing better than being able to move in a few years without your lower back being in an absolute bundle.
No.
So
no, not at all. It was explained to me as well. So nobody says Sunday roast. Nobody says, you know what I fancy this Sunday now? Nice joint of lamb. Let's get a load of mutton. No. Mutton is older sheep. Tough as fuck. Doesn't taste nice. Everyone goes, you know what I fancy? Lovely bit of spring lamb. Why is that? Is because the blood flow is perfect. The muscle is, the fibres are perfect. Everything's perfect. As when you get older, it turns into mutton. The more you do stretching and flexibility and salutations, you keep everything flowing to where it should, everything stretched so it's more tender for moving.
Like it's being able to move. I've noticed it now more so as I done some crazy stuff, like I was saying there during that last lockdown. I done some mad stuff for myself, just any chance I got to write myself off, I was sign me up. And You did. I felt the effects of it, and I started doing some of it back then during the lockdown. The last one, I started getting into it a bit more. Now I'm making what I've been trying to do is I'm making it a thing. I'm making it. I have to do it. It's not like I'll just stick it in the start of a workout. That was something that I was the best at doing. I'm gonna stick me walk. I'm gonna warm up with a few of these sun salutations, a few little toe touches. I'm gonna be in limbo. I never do it then. I get up to the gym and I'd start running around getting a bit warm, and then I just want to strangle people, and I just bail on that. And now I'm making it a thing. I'm like, every day I'm just like 15, 20 minutes. Scott, you have to do it. And like, if anyone follows me on Instagram, I'll stick it up, like, say any morning that I'm doing it or any morning that I record it. A lot of times I don't even record it, but I'll just bang it up and it'll just be like a little time lapse of me just doing a bit around the gaff, just doing a bit in the gaff, little stretching, 15, 20 minutes. But because it's that consistent 15, 20 minutes, like where I started versus where I'm at now is a big difference. And it's only like, do you know what I mean? That could be even 2 weeks, the difference. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be stiff as sport. I'm sorry, but if you even if anyone who's trained a while, they'll know, they can vouch and say your lower back and your lower back does being a jocker doing jiu-jitsu. It does. Like, you're folding yourself in half. It's involuntary yoga. That's what you're doing. You're doing yoga that, like, if I get on someone's back, I'm cranking the life out of your neck to get that choke.
Yeah.
I don't think they warmed up that way. I don't think they expected to have their head twisted off like a cork. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't sign up for this.
No, yeah. Like me, just ratcheting a cork out, just trying to twist their head off. So at least doing this movement helps prevent a lot of that crap that comes along with jiu-jitsu and MMA in general. Because being broke up is not fun.
No. Right, that's it for this week's episode. Check Scott, gives you on Instagram.
Hazard Harvey on Instagram, yeah.
him out. Check out his sun salutations in the morning. That's us. Episode 19 wrapped up. Yuuuup.